It's Fight Talk time. Here's your hosts, Josh and Sam.
Okay, and we are live here at episode 2 of the Fight Talk podcast, sponsored by the Fight Platform. Check them out for all the latest mixed martial arts news and stories.
What is up, guys? We are on the 18th of January. We're ready for our second podcast. Are you ready, Sam?
I'm always ready to go for a podcast.
We're going to try and cut it down to 45 minutes this time. Let's see how that goes. Let's talk UFC Fight Night 103. Yair Rodriguez versus BJ Penn. Happened this weekend.
I'm going to put my hands up and say I was wrong yet again.
Yes, you were.
Third time in a row now that I've got the main event wrong.
Yep.
Yair Rodriguez looked outstanding when beating BJ Penn. He's a lot bigger than I thought he was. BJ Penn looked better than he did against Frankie Edgar, but he couldn't really have looked worse. So I honestly just thought BJ was going to come in, the experience with Mario was going to take him down, and obviously BJ Penn got his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in just 3 years, down from the average of 10. So I thought, that advanced Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu there was going to come into play, but I think I'm going to give up with this guessing in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, definitely. I think you should follow me and pick Yair Rodriguez next time. He's now 10-1. He's been a lot of people talking about a Cub Swanson fight. I think Cub Swanson might be a bit too high in the rankings just yet.
Too high in the rankings, but would you not agree that if he can do this to BJ Penn, who is a legend of the sport, could he not do the same to Cub Swanson?
He could. Well, we saw Cub Swanson's last fight, and Cub Swanson was an absolute warrior.
Cub Swanson's always been a warrior. Cub Swanson... Well, that's the thing. BJ Penn got knocked out, obviously, with that front kick, and you know, if I'm right, that's only the third ever front kick knockout in history in UFC anyway. But Cub Swanson just doesn't go down.
No.
He lost to Frankie Edgar with 3 seconds left in the final round. He got caught in the neck crank, and then Max Holloway got him in the guillotine choke from Mount. But before that, Cub was on a tear.
Yeah.
I've always liked Cub Swanson. That cartwheel kick he throws is amazing.
Always throwing it. All right, so the co-headliner for that was
my boy J-Lo.
J-Lo and Marcin Held. But in a one where Joe Lauzon thought he lost it, he's had so many interviews since, and he's said he's lost it every single time.
If you have to go on Reddit, Joe Lauzon's quite the Redditor. He's always on r/MMA.
Yeah.
He actually did put a post up there apologising to Marcin Held, saying he didn't win that fight. It was 2-1 to Marcin. He had it going in, and if you watch the fight, obviously you could argue that if the referee had to stop the fight due to those elbows in the first round, no one would have said anything. It would have been fine. That's fine. Don't worry about that. That was I'd have called that a knockout because he went limp a few times, but fair dues, he held in there, and he held in there, and and he did end up getting the loss, but in many people's eyes, including his opponents.
Joe said that he got round 1, but Held did get 2 and 3. That now puts Held on a 2-fight loss streak.
Well, who did he lose to last time? Well, he lost to Diego Sanchez as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
And a lot of people think he didn't lose that fight either. So it's for his debut to be against Diego Sanchez and his rebound fight to be against Joe Lauzon. That's that's quite a task. So he should hold his head high, and I'm sure we'll see him again fighting again, and hopefully they'll tone down the competition a little bit just to let him find his footing. And this isn't the last we've heard of him. He's definitely going to come back.
Next up, Ben Saunders defeat Court McGee by unanimous decision.
What was that decision?
That was
shocking.
Yeah.
When I saw, I love Court McGee. Court McGee, was a drug addict many years ago, and he's turned his life around. Now in the UFC from the Ultimate Fighter years ago, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, Ben Saunders, he's awesome. Those kicks were terrifying. If you can't kick someone's body, just kick at them and just kick through their arm. That's just terrifying. As fun. But then, Court was pressuring him. Court had that dominant third round, took him down and just pounded him out. But then when I was like, I remember we watched it when you went off to the toilet.
I went to the toilet. Come back. Wait, what?
What? What's this? Was this atrocious decision here?
Now puts him on a 2-fight win streak. His previous fight was a sub win over Jacob Volkman. So 2-fight win streak.
In the welterweight division at the moment, the welterweight division's stacked.
Yeah.
You've got contenders coming out the woodwork at the moment.
Yeah.
It's funny though, they've lost a contender in Kelvin Gastelum, who's actually slated to fight Vitor Belfort in a few months, isn't he?
He is, yeah. March 11th. I think
yeah, March 11th. Have you seen the stare-down picture that they've recently done?
I haven't.
Vitor Belfort looks so big, he looks like Kelvin Gastelum's dad. When they're stood next to each other, Vitor's a clear couple of inches taller than him, and looks like he could probably pick Kelvin up with his hand. But that's not, it was the same with Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy looks huge in comparison to Kelvin, but then on fight night, Kelvin went out there and slapped him around. Tim Kennedy actually retired yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We were going to speak on that in a bit.
Oh, yeah, well, 37. It's too young to retire. We'll get on to that in a bit.
Definitely.
Kelvin Gastelum, I don't know. I reckon, with the welterweight losing a contender, that I reckon Ben Saunders could slide on in there.
Yeah, he could get straight in there.
But who do you reckon? The top five, you've got Lawler. I don't see anyone. Lawler's the boogeyman of that welterweight division. No one wants to fight Lawler. You've got Damian Maia. No one wants to fight Damian. A lot of Dong Young Kim called out Damian, but a loss to Damian Maia.
Yeah.
If you see Robbie Lawler, if you show a casual fan Robbie Lawler,
yeah,
and you say, look at what Robbie Lawler's done in the past. He takes people's souls when he knocks them out, as he says, and then you show them Damian Maia. Damian Maia doesn't look like a fighter.
No. In
a lot of senses. So if you get, if you say, well, this big muscly guy lost to this guy, a lot of casual MMA fans are going to be like, well, this guy's clearly not that good.
Yeah.
But in actual fact, Damian Maia is one of the scariest people in the world.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's not the biggest guy. He fought middleweight for a long time, and he's beaten heavyweights in jiu-jitsu matches. So
yeah, he is a scary looking guy.
I think Damian should do everyone else a solid, shave his head, and get a spider tattoo on his head to look a bit more intimidating to casual fans.
So next it was Sergio Pettis versus John Moraga via decision. Defeated John Moraga via decision. Well, he's definitely getting up there now, 15-2. He's now also known as more than just Anthony Pettis' brother. So
that's the thing. In the flyweight division, there's no contenders. It's like a butcher's line. Who's going to get fed to Mighty Mouse next? And John Moraga had his time and he got beat by Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
You can tell a fight is good by the way the colour commentators said, well, he lasted to the 4th round. Not, he got beaten in the 4th. Well, he lasted longer than most does.
Yeah.
But, just this win, you think in this, there's 3 people I'd like to see Mighty Mouse face. I'd like to see him do Benavidez again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing him beat up Henry again. I don't like Henry Cejudo.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing Mighty Mouse slap him around a little bit more.
Yeah.
Ian McCall again. That's another fight I'd like to see. Oh, obviously Uncle Creepy took him to a decision. Took him to a draw a few years ago. But then you got Sergio Pettis. He's as good a contender as anyone now.
He's only 23 as well, so there's a lot of years in him.
He's the only person out of all those 3 I've just named as well that hasn't already fought and lost to Mighty Mouse. So, there's got to be someone out there who can beat Mighty Mouse. We just haven't found him yet.
No, we have not.
Obviously the Ultimate Fighter champion, the champion for last season, was based around finding someone to fight Mighty Mouse.
Yeah.
And obviously Tim Elliott came out and gave it damnedest. I remember watching that fight and live at whatever time in the morning it was here in the UK, and seeing him catch Demetrius in that choke, and I thought it was over. I was so excited for Tim Elliott, and then obviously Demetrius got out and actually started pinching his nose at one point.
Yeah.
That was quite a funny one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sergio Pettis, if they want to give him the title shot right now, I wouldn't mind. He's only 23 years old, a bit young, but
yeah,
no time like the present.
So this wasn't actually the next one, but I went down to the prelims, and there's not a way we couldn't speak about this. It was I'm sorry with the names. Oleksiy Oleinik defeating Victor Pesta via Ezekiel choke.
Well, this is an interesting one because the Boa Constrictor, that's his nickname, and that's probably the best thing to call him at the moment. He's made his MMA debut in 1997, and I actually know this gentleman from his submission win over Mirko Cro Cop. After Mirko obviously left the UFC, it was via a scarf hold headlock choke, and it was such a rare thing to see.
Yeah. Then
he comes into the UFC. He's had a few underwhelming performances. I thought he was going to come in and just make a run at the title straight away.
Yeah.
He's getting on now. He's obviously approaching 40, but then he goes off and pulls an Ezekiel choke from Mount Bottom. That's something we've never seen before.
This isn't the first time he's done it. He's done it 10 times in his whole career.
That's ridiculous.
10 times.
The only other Ezekiel choke I've ever seen in my life in a mixed martial arts fight, attempted, was when, I can't even remember who it was. Someone attempted it on Chael Sonnen many years ago, and Chael was selling it. Chael was going, heh, 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 heh. And then after that, then obviously Herb Dean was the referee, and he stood them up and gave the other fighter a chance to win the fight because he wasn't winning the fight. They got up, they had a fight, they finished the fight. Chael won the fight, and afterwards he went over to Herb and he said, you know, you didn't have me in that choke. That was the right thing to do. Turned straight around, didn't realise Herb Dean was stood behind him, and said to the other fighter, "Man, you got screwed. You nearly had me in that choke." And you can actually hear Herb Dean talking about that.
Crazy though how the UFC have never actually seen one, but this guy's pulling them off bloody left, right, and centre. He's got 44 submission wins in 51 wins. 44 have been submissions.
Well, he's one of the older fighters on the roster. You know, well, it's not upsetting. It's weird, really, to hear. You know, he made his pro debut in 2011. Now, obviously, I live in the past. I still think it's 2012 at the moment, me. But it's nice to hear someone who, you know, one of the old school. Obviously, Dan Henderson's left now. Randy Couture's left.
Yeah.
You know, we're down to the very, you know, Andrei Arlovsky's one of the remaining few now.
Yeah.
That you've got, you know, one of the old school fighters. And Vitor Belfort as well, obviously, one I really like from back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to see, you know, some of the older fighters still hanging around.
Yeah.
Because in the heavyweight division, you know, anything's possible. Anyone in the heavyweight division could beat anyone else in the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Because you're so big, it only takes one punch.
It does only take one punch, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Brad Pickett should move to heavyweight.
So, we spoke about that card. We're going to go down to UFC on Fox. I didn't actually get a date for this. I'm honestly not too sure. Shevchenko versus Pena.
That's coming up in, not this Saturday, the Saturday after. So that would be, that would be the 28th.
28th, yeah.
Yeah. So that
it is because Donald. Yeah, it is.
It is because it's not for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, we're wrestling guys as well. So yeah, Shevchenko obviously coming off that win over Holly Holm, biggest win of her career, and then before that was a loss to Amanda Nunes.
Yeah.
So it would make you think, really, would it? Why is Holly Holm fighting for the featherweight championship? If Shevchenko beat her, shouldn't Shevchenko really be taking the place?
Yeah, because Holly Holm is now on a 2-fight loss streak.
Well, we're going to talk about that. The reason is Shevchenko doesn't want to move up a division. Which is fair enough. Obviously, this isn't boxing. There's, you know, more than a 3 or 4 pound weight discrepancy.
Yeah.
This one is only £10, to be fair. But, you know, that's a fair amount, really. Oh, it's not £10, would it be? 45, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 hours, £10 then. So, yeah. It is a lot. It is a fair amount of weight to give up. So, I can understand Shevchenko not wanting to. Holly Holm, obviously, a boxer.
Yeah.
Is used to fighting at a higher weight. Shevchenko looked pretty good. She beat Holly Holm. Holly Holm's famous for not obviously knocking out Ronda Rousey. So yeah. Shevchenko would have liked to have taken that momentum. But a lot of casual fans still don't know who Shevchenko is.
No.
Now, for me, I know her name because I love her second name. It took me the longest time to learn how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I don't think she gets the recognition she deserves.
No.
Holly Holm, a fantastic kickboxer. A fantastic boxer, you know, and Shevchenko stood with her for the majority of the fight and won.
Yeah. So she's now got a kickboxing record of 58-2, which no one would know. No one would know that. Yeah, of course, like we said, she came off a fight to Amanda Nunes.
Well, everyone's losing to Amanda Nunes at the moment.
Yeah.
But that's nothing to be. It's really nothing to be saying. In the fight game, you win some, you lose. What's that song? Motorhead, you know. You win some, you lose some. It's all the same to me. No one goes undefeated forever. Well, no. That's not true. Some people do, obviously, but very, very rarely. Like, there's only a few undefeated fighters, and Khabib Nurmagomedov. You know, I talk about Khabib a lot. I don't like his record. I think his record is very padded. I think if you look back, Khabib has been beat. Hasn't been beat, but he hasn't really. He's the best competition he fought is Rafael dos Anjos and Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
Rafael obviously wasn't the monster that he is today. When Khabib, but that doesn't take away from the victory. It doesn't. But he wasn't the monster he is today. And Michael Johnson caught him. And, you know, I don't know. I just think we're going to see Khabib beaten this year. If Khabib makes it out of this year with his undefeated record intact, I'll be very surprised. I hold my hand up and I'll say I'm wrong because I'm wrong a lot at the moment. But I'd like to see his record come to an end.
So I don't know how we got onto Khabib.
Always get on to Khabib.
Juliana Pena, 4-fight win streak. It's a bit of a weird main event with Donald Cerrone on the card as well.
Pena. Juliana Pena.
My bad. She last fought at UFC 200 versus Kat Zingano.
I was wrong about that fight as well. Yeah. Alpha Kat Zingano let me down. I'm thinking Kat Zingano's going to come in and assert her dominance over the person who was, over Juliana Pena. I'm just going to give up guessing these fights now.
I'd say Donald Cerrone should be there, though.
If Donald Cerrone was the main event, I'd be more happy.
Yeah.
UFC on Fox, Cerrone versus Medesival seems like a more of a main event feel, because Donald Cerrone now making his run at the title again.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Donald get some gold on him before he retires.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's fell short every time so far.
So the co-headliner is Donald Cerrone versus George Masvidal.
George coming off that toe in the fence TKO over Jake Ellenberger.
Was crazy, yeah. And before that, beat Ross Pearson. But before that, he also lost to Lorenz Larkins and Ben Henderson.
Everyone, back when Benderson was in the UFC, he was a scary guy.
Yeah.
But now that he's gone to Bellator, he's not doing so well, actually. It really shows that the caliber of Bellator is a lot better than a lot of people give credit for. Yeah. Speaking of Bellator, while we're saying the B word, 21st of January, are you ready for Chael Sonnen's return?
Chael Sonnen versus Tito Ortiz, mixing it up a little bit.
We're moving on. We're moving on to the big dog. Chael Sonnen, what do you reckon? Can he pull it off?
I reckon he could pull it off, yeah.
I reckon he's gonna. Tito Ortiz, I never liked Tito Ortiz, I'm not gonna lie. I love seeing Chuck Liddell beat up Tito Ortiz back in the day. That was the fight for me. But Chael Sonnen, obviously one of my personal favourite fighters.
Yeah.
If you watch the promos, Chael, a lot of people are calling him out on this, saying it's not true, but if you watch his promos in the UFC, he said the same thing. When Chael Sonnen's dad died just before his fight with Anderson Silva the second time, and he promised him a few things, and he completed all the promises, apart from the last one. He promised him he'd be a world champion.
Yeah.
And obviously Anderson Silva rudely stopped that plan the second time, and then John Jones did it as well. So Chael's plan is to come into Bellator now, run over Tito, and make him run at either the middleweight, the light heavyweight, the heavyweight, wherever he wants to go.
He could go for any of them, man.
Because what he said he's no division safe.
He wants all the belts. He wants all the belts.
And then he can fight McGregor for a unification for every belt ever. So anyway, back onto the UFC of Fox. Shevchenko versus Pena. Andrei Arlovski, what are you thinking of that?
Well, he's also on a 3-fight win streak. He's got a record of 25-13. His last 3 were Josh Barnett by submission, Overeem TKO.
That was a loss to Overeem by TKO, though.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And also a TKO loss to
the
current heavyweight champ Stipe Miocic.
Well, that just goes to show you, doesn't it? In every one of those fights, specifically the 2 TKO losses, it could have gone either way. If Arlovski had landed the punch, he would have gone the other way. It's in the heavyweight division. All it takes is one. That's why there's a running joke that Roy Nelson could at any time be the world heavyweight champion, because all it takes is one.
Yeah.
If Roy Nelson hits you 9 times out of 10, you're going to sleep, and that reigns true for every human being in the world. Therefore, at any one time, any heavyweight could be the champion. And at the moment, obviously Stipe's getting lucky. Oh, did you hear about Stipe's contract negotiations?
Yeah, he's not happy.
He's not happy that Overeem made a lot more money than he did for that fight.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair to me, because Stipe, Overeem, if you think of Alistair Overeem, he beat Brock Lesnar.
He's been in the sport a long time.
A lot of casual know him. He's fought at light heavyweight. He fought Liddell. He didn't beat Liddell, but he fought him. In Pride, obviously, he choked out Belfort in Pride. He's had a lot of good runs, and then he's beat Fabricio Verdum, who's considered one of the best pound for pounds fighters in the world. He's a world kickboxing champion in K1.
Yeah,
he's a big name to casual and hardcore fans.
Yeah.
You ask, if you go out into the street and say, "Excuse me, buddy, you know who Stipe Miocic is?" They'll probably go, "No." Stipe is building a name, but does not have a name yet.
No.
Obviously, to me and you, we've seen him grind Mark Hunt into a fine paste. We saw him knock out the pitbull Andrei Arlovski.
Yeah.
We saw him sleep Fabricio and Overeem back to back. To hardcore fans, everyone can respect the power of Stipe and the technique, but in the fight, if you want money, you have to promote yourself. McGregor. McGregor is the best promoter currently in the UFC. Everyone knows who Conor McGregor is. Not a lot of people, not everyone likes him, but everyone knows who he is, and that's why he makes so much money.
Maybe Stipe needs to just start chatting shit.
Oh well, I'd love to see that. Stipe going on one. But he's just such a respectful dude, and that's why everyone likes him.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when he slept Fabricio and then jumped over the cage and I'm a world champ!
I'm a world champ!
I'm a world champion! That to me, that's a lifetime dream. I was really happy to see. I like Stipe. And who do you reckon he's going to fight next? Do you reckon it'll be Fabricio?
It'd probably be Fabricio, yeah.
I'd like to see them reschedule the Kane fight with Fabricio.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Because he beat Travis Brown, but Travis Brown isn't looking the same recently. Obviously,
Travis
when I think of that fight, I think that fight is a first round TKO. Because you cannot call an end to a fight because you have broke your finger. If you stop the fight to say I have a broken finger, you can't restart that fight. That fight is over.
No, you can't stop the fight.
How about that jumping front side kick though? When that fight happened, that was awesome. I remember that. I'd like to see them reschedule the Kane fight, and that's purely for selfish reasons. I love seeing Fabricio fight Kane. I think it's such an interesting fight, an amazing wrestler versus one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. Yeah, obviously, Fabricio won their first fight with a guillotine, but I'd love to see round 2.
So the next fight on that card is Alex Caceres versus Jason Knight. Jason Knight doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, to be fair.
Well, that says it all, doesn't it? Alex Caceres, Bruce Leroy as he's known, obviously he fought Yari Rodriguez in his last fight, lost a split decision.
Yeah,
he did. But in the showing, he showed he can do everything Rodriguez can do. That fight was a split decision.
Yeah,
and no one would have cried if it had gone the other way. It was weird to think that could have been Alex Caceres fighting. Then again, I'd probably assume it had gone the same way.
Yeah.
Alex Caceres obviously fond of all the spinning kicks, the jumping kicks, the flying kicks, the knees. I can't see him not winning this fight. But then again, who am I to make predictions?
Who are you to make predictions?
I'm wrong every time. I might as well just retire.
So the next fight.
This fight, I didn't even know this fight was happening until yesterday. I love Sam Alvey, Smiling Sam. I remember him from The Ultimate Fighter. He's got absolute dynamite in his hands, and he's fighting Nate Marquardt, former Strikeforce champion.
Yeah,
Nate Marquardt, obviously a legend of the sport. He had a bit of a downslide now. So everyone, I thought personally he was gonna call it quits, but now he's having a bit of a career renaissance. He's on his way back up.
He actually he headlined the first ever fight night.
Did he?
The very first ever fight night. Yep.
And he also holds a victory over current welterweight champion Tyrone Woodley.
And he also KO'd Damian Maia back at UFC 1 and 2.
That was Damian Maia's first loss, and that was nasty. That was a nasty knockout. But yeah, I remember Nate Marquardt knocking out Tyrone Woodley with those elbows back in Strikeforce. That was a show in that. I'd love to see Nate the Great resurge and become a middleweight contender. But we don't live in. I think Sam Alvey's going to put him. Sam Alvey's going to put him to sleep.
Sam Alvey currently on a 3-fight win streak. He is the former Maximum Fighting champion, also, and he's fought on 2 Bellator cards before. So
well, there's that old saying: if it didn't happen in the UFC, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Maximum Fighting champion. Who's their current champion? Do you know? No one does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
UFC. It's the highest level of competition is the UFC or Bellator.
Yeah.
UFC, obviously, slightly more so. Although Bellator is catching up now. But Sam Alvey, when he came back, his first fight after coming back to the UFC, I believe I watched it with you, actually. And he threw 4 punches in the fight. All 4 punches connected me one. He was walking around, smiling, with his hands up to his chin, protecting his head. 3 minutes into the fight, Joe Rogan commented that Sam hasn't thrown more than a couple strikes. And then, out of nowhere, bam, 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 bam. Fight's over.
Yeah.
And he did that a few times, obviously. I believe he lost to Derek Brunson fairly recently.
Yeah.
Again, that's so strange to think we could be having Sam Alvey versus Anderson Silva right now if that fight had gone the other way.
Yeah.
But then we've got Javier Assunção versus
Aljamain Sterling.
Aljamain Sterling, there we are.
Aljamain currently on a 12-1. Lost to Brian Caraway recently.
Oh, Brian Caraway annoys me.
Before that, got a submission win over Takeya Mizugaki.
Takeya Mizugaki, buddy.
So as I'm got bad England today.
Bad England. That's Japanese, friend.
He's the former Ring of Combat and Cage Fury champion.
Well, Rafael Assunção, obviously, the last time he fought was at 200 versus TJ Dillashaw. Rafael Assunção does have a victory over TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah.
But, he hasn't looked the same. I think he's going to win the fight quite handily. But again, what do I know? I'm wrong. Statistically, I'm wrong every time this year so far.
He's lost in his first fight back at UFC 200.
Yeah, he did, but, a loss to TJ Dillashaw is nothing to be ashamed of in the bantamweight division. TJ is an absolute machine at the moment.
Not the way it's all kicking off down there.
Oh, it's bantamweight at the moment. They're making a lot of noise. It's nice to see some of the lighter divisions get more recognition. Because initially the UFC didn't even support the lighter divisions. Obviously, that's why we had the WEC back in the day.
Yeah.
And then obviously the UFC absorbed the WEC. And that's why we have some of the great fighters now, like Obviously, we got Dominic Cruz down at bantamweight.
Yeah,
bantamweight. Bantamweight, and he's just been beat, but he's definitely coming back.
Next topic I want to get onto is the potential Chris Weidman versus Gegard Mousasi. Now, Mousasi is talking a lot on Twitter.
It's nice to see because Gegard is one of the best fighters in the middleweight division, in any middleweight division.
Yeah.
Gegard's been around forever. Gegard holds a victory over Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt. Just let that sink in for a minute. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty crazy. He was on Fox Sports the other day. He said, "I wanted to fight Anderson and the UFC. Well, you don't have a big enough name." But now he's fighting Derek Brunson. Mousasi also said Luke Rockhold had injured, and I can't see it. I see him training all the time. Chris Weidman doesn't pick up his phone. The UFC offered him the fight a couple of times. Whittaker wants to go on holiday for 7 months. I don't know what he's up to. I'm looking for a fight.
Interesting that he didn't mention Jacare there. Yeah. No, Jacare obviously is booked. He's going to fight. He's going to fight Tim Bosch in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But interesting that he wasn't on the call-out list. Now, obviously, Mousasi did lose to Jacare via guillotine choke a few years ago now. But before that, he does hold a knockout victory over him via upkick. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'd say if Mousasi was to beat Jacare, Mousasi gets title shot. That's that for me. If Mousasi beats Weidman, I don't feel as strongly towards that. Weidman's now coming off back-to-back knockout losses. That to me means Weidman isn't really the fight to get the title fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if Weidman comes back, takes down and pounds out Mousasi in the first round, Weidman is then back in the contention.
Yeah.
But he does not immediately in my world. If I ran the UFC, Weidman doesn't get the title shot. You don't come back from back-to-back losses, get one win and then fight for the title. That's unless you're Nick Diaz.
No. It's not like they were small guys he lost to, though, to be fair.
Obviously, Yoel Romero and Luke Rockhold.
But
the big names or not, they're still knockout losses.
Yeah.
They are. And obviously, the Chris Weidman.
The Chris.
the Chris
as
was
Anderson call him.
Was touted to be one of the next Anderson Silva essentially.
Yeah.
Beating Lyoto Machida like he did. Being Vitor Belfort,
Anderson twice.
Okay, we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that. He was touted to be the next big deal in the middleweight division. And Rockhold, the way Rockhold talks, Rockhold says when he fought Weidman, he was fighting at about 8%. That's not true. That is not true at all. That's not true. He says he wasn't 100%. I believe him. You very rarely 100% come fight night, but he was not fighting at 8%.
No,
not at all. But nevertheless, he won the fight. That's that. Rockhold currently, it says he's. I don't know. You can't say you're injured and then post videos of you training like he trains every day.
Yeah.
And then challenge John Jones to a jiu-jitsu match at Submission Underground.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It doesn't work like that. You can't have a torn ACL and then go off and want to grapple with the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. So I don't know what's going on with Rocco. Maybe he's still upset that Demi Lovato broke up with him. But
he's probably proper heartbroken at home, crying.
Can you blame him? No. It's a hell of a thing to lose.
Especially to Bellator.
So yeah, I personally, the title contention for me goes, but Yoel's fighting. Yoel is 100% the number one contender. He's undefeated in the UFC. Whether he is or not is something else. Yeah. Obviously, that Tim Kennedy fight, I'd have disqualified him for not getting up personally. Sitting on the stool for a minute after the bell has rung for round 3 is unacceptable. And then to win the fight by knockout causes even more controversy. But yeah, Yoel is undefeated in the UFC. So he's definitely the number one contender in my opinion. Unless, obviously, the reason that fight's not been signed, I believe, is that GSP is in negotiation with the UFC and wants to fight Mikey Bisping for the middleweight championship of the world. Now, if GSP wants to come back and fight for the middleweight championship, I believe he should have that right. GSP walked away from the sport in his prime. Yeah, he was the welterweight champion, and he is considered to be one of the best, if not the best, pound for pound fighters in the world, ever. If he wants to come back and fight for the belt, I believe he has that right, and I'd like to see him do it. Yeah,
Gegard Mousasi on a 4-fight win streak. Uriah Hall, Vitor Belfort, and Thiago Santos.
So let's talk about those names. You got Vitor Belfort. Obviously, we were at that event in 204.
Yep.
We saw that Gegard looked outstanding. Gegard, took it to Vitor Belfort, took it to him, and just smashed him in the second round.
That fight could have stopped a little earlier.
It could have been, but Vitor, you know how it is. Vitor can take, in the past he's been able to take it and give it back. At the moment, since the TRT ban, he's not looking himself.
No.
But Uriah Hall, obviously, I believe, as much as I like Uriah Hall, I believe the first fight was a fluke. You see the fight in Japan, Gegard battered him for the first round.
Yeah.
Uriah threw that jumping, spinning back kick. Gegard ducked into it, and Uriah finished the fight.
Yeah.
In the second fight, you can see Gegard was not messing around in Dublin. He took it to him. And Thiago Santos, obviously, at 200, that was a scary uppercut. You saw Thiago get lifted off the floor a little bit by that.
Must have felt good though to come back and get that win over Uriah Hall after.
It must have, because that was a nagging loss, obviously.
Yeah.
And then he beat Ted. But then you see all these performances are overshadowed rather by his poor performances.
Yeah.
When he fought Talis Latus in the UFC London card when Bisping beat Silva, you see all this potential, all this skill, this precision, this knockout power. And then with Talis Latus, all he did was dance around with the jab and land a few takedowns.
Yeah.
And Gegard, who said, I believe it was Joe Rogan, Gegard was the best fighter that never was.
Yeah.
Because he trains with his brother. If Gegard went out and trained at Greg Jackson's or TriStar or, a really high level camp, Gegard could be the next big thing in the UFC.
Yeah.
And it's a shame to see him not wasting away, but obviously he's still one of the best in the world. But if he really, commit in and put his heart and soul into it, because Gegard's rich, Gegard's a millionaire. Yeah, Gegard doesn't need to fight.
Yeah.
Gegard is fighting for his own, he wants to be the champion, which is fair enough. But if you look at his record, he's some of the fights he's won are outstanding. Obviously, he beat Mark Hunt with that armbar.
Yeah.
How many losses does Gegard have? It's like 3 or 4, isn't it? That's outstanding.
6.
Is it 6?
Yeah, 41 wins, 6 losses, 2 draws.
Yeah, so he's lost to Uriah Hall, he's lost to Jacare, Machida, he's lost to King Mo, he's lost to Akihiro Gono, who's a legend, and he's lost early on in his career to a fighter whose name I won't attempt to pronounce.
Yeah.
But some of the bigger wins of his career, he's beat Hector Lombard, he's beat Cyborg Santos, this is early in his career. He's beat Malvin Manhoof. I mean, Malvin Manhoof's an absolute killer.
Yeah.
He knocked out Jacare with an up kick. He beat, we got Sokoju. He knocked out Sokoju when Sokoju was knocking everyone out. He knocked out Gary Goodridge. Gary Goodridge is a heavyweight.
Yeah.
He's going up to heavyweight and knocking people out.
Alright, we're going to have to move on to the next pick because we're down to about 12 and a half minutes. Tim Kennedy retiring from MMA. The UFC and Strikeforce vet announced his retirement yesterday following his third loss to Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 206.
See, his losses, they were devastating, but they weren't, they weren't the worst thing in the world. Ring rust exists. I know Dominic Cruz said it doesn't and people are just out of shape, but it does. And Tim was off for a long time. But his last victory, obviously, beat Michael Bisping.
Yeah, he's got decision wins over the current middleweight champion Michael Bisping and former welterweight champion Robbie Lawler. So, he's done some big things in his career.
He has, and obviously he's that army man. He's an army guy as well. I believe he's a sergeant. Yeah, sergeant first class in the Marines.
Yeah.
He lost to Kelvin. He lost to UL. But before that, he beat Michael Bisping. He's beat Hodger Gracie.
Yeah.
He's beat Robbie Lawler. Melvin Manhoof. You know what I mean? He's not. Yeah. He's not a nobody. It's a shame because I'd like to see him come back in this middleweight division the way it is at the moment.
Yeah.
Even if he takes a step back and fights someone, if he fought Uriah Hall's ranked 9th at the moment, is it?
I think so.
Tim Kennedy was still ranked. He could fight Uriah Hall.
Yeah.
Get his feet back under him and come back. He was calling for that Anderson Silva fight. I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
I'd love to see how Anderson dealt with smaller Chael Sonnen.
Yeah. There was a point where he was calling a lot of people out, and these fights he could have had any of them. He could have. It would have been good for him to see him have a big fight against like Anderson Silva or
it'd be nice to have seen him get his fight.
Yeah.
Because he's not. Yeah, then again, thinking about it, he is part of the MMMA movement with Bjorn Rebney at the helm. So possibly maybe that's playing a part in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously we're seeing a lot of high level fighters joining that movement. Obviously, TJ Dillashaw's on there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything from that for a while though. To be fair, Bjorn Rebney's kind of just disappeared for a bit.
Well, hopefully that stays that way. As who was it that referred to Bjorn? I think it was excuse me, Mark Hunt referred to him as a necessary evil.
Yeah,
I thought that says a lot, really, doesn't it? As long as they acknowledge what what they're working with, because Bjorn obviously doesn't have the best reputation for being, someone you can trust. Obviously, he got ran out of the boxing world.
Yeah.
As Dana White says, you can read that story. It's quite an interesting one.
You can actually check that out on the Fight platform.
You can check even better. You can check that on the Fight platform. But it's, I don't know. I believe Tim's not done. Tim will do whatever he does in life. He'll do well at. He's got his military career to fall back on.
Yeah.
This man took out a tank. That's amazing. He took on a tank. He's not scared of anyone.
No.
So he could do whatever he
Absolute
wants.
warrior. We wish him the best for his future. Thank you, Tim Kennedy. Now, we're going to go on for our last one. We've got a couple of minutes to speak about this. This is arguably one of the biggest things happening right now. Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. We can sit and talk here all day about this. This is crazy.
So I'm going to say right now, that fight won't happen.
No, I honestly don't think it'll happen either.
Floyd Mayweather does not want that fight. If Floyd Mayweather wanted that... Right, Floyd Mayweather, for one, does not need money.
No.
Floyd Mayweather has money, believe it or not.
If Floyd Mayweather wanted that fight, he would have just took the initial 25...
No. Even before that, if he wanted the fight, he knew who he had to call. He had to call Dana White.
Yeah.
He did not call Dana White. Floyd's talking about he made all these offers to Conor. Floyd did not make one singular offer because he did not call Dana White. If he wanted that, if Floyd wanted to fight like he says he does, Floyd's 49-0, he would ring Dana White, because if you're as powerful as Floyd Mayweather is, you can get Dana White's phone number
Easy.
very easily.
Yeah.
If he wanted that fight, he'd call Dana and he'd say, "I'll do it for however many million." But
Yeah.
Floyd doesn't need the money. Floyd's one of the richest guys in the world. He doesn't need it.
No.
So he doesn't want that fight. There's a difference between wanting the fight and wanting to have your name out there.
Yeah.
Obviously, Floyd kind of lived and died with that Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Everyone at that fight was so built up. Everyone watched the fight, and it was a terrible fight.
Yeah.
And then his next fight did so many hundreds of thousands. It didn't even break 1 million pay-per-view buys.
No.
So if Floyd... So let's assume Floyd all of a sudden decides, he wakes up one day and decides he wants to fight McGregor.
Yeah, I'll take $5,000 for that fight.
Deal.
Let's go.
So, we've got mixed martial arts fight. In a mixed martial arts contest, Floyd doesn't win.
No.
Right.
No.
So that's not happening. It doesn't happen like that. Floyd is not going to knock Conor out. At some point, Conor is going to land a takedown or a leg kick, because Floyd has not experienced a leg kick.
No, he hasn't.
And until you felt a leg kick for the first time, obviously you felt them, I felt them. They don't tickle.
No.
Yeah, the first time you feel a leg kick, it knocks you sick.
Yeah.
Conor's going to land a takedown and land a leg kick, and Conor's going to choke him out. Conor will strangle him.
Yeah.
So let's talk about middle ground. So in my opinion, that's either kickboxing or Muay Thai.
Okay.
Either of those, I believe Conor has an advantage.
Conor has it again, yeah.
Because not necessarily 10 times out of 10.
No.
But Floyd is, he's pretty boy Floyd Mayweather. He moves out the way, he rolls with punches. But rolling with a punch and rolling with a kick, two different things.
Yeah. Definitely.
Conor's longer than Floyd. I think he'd be able to catch him. And if he couldn't, he'd clinch with him in a Muay Thai fight, obviously. Even in kickboxing, in K1 rules, you're allowed to clinch with one hand.
Yeah.
I believe Conor takes that now. In a boxing match, it's a bit different.
Conor would definitely use that to advantage. He'd probably end up starting to throw knees.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Floyd Mayweather taking a knee to the face? 'Cause
No.
I honestly couldn't.
I think Conor's got that. But in a boxing match, it's different again. Because could Conor hit... Conor, he's known for that laser left hand of his.
Yeah.
But could he hit Floyd? Because, when you train mixed martial arts, you can't just train boxing. You can't just train jiu-jitsu. You have to train everything. So even if Conor decided he was just going to train boxing for so long,
yeah,
say the fight's in 6 months, Conor does boxing for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's still so many years he's done boxing for. But Floyd has only done boxing and solely trained in boxing for so many years.
Yeah.
There's a specific type of boxing for mixed martial arts. You can't stand with your feet so close together and throw power punches.
No.
You stand with your feet close together, you're going to get picked up and dumped on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to end well. You have to use essentially kickboxing or Muay Thai range boxing. Do you understand? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in boxing it's obviously very different. So, my opinion, in a mixed martial arts fight, Conor and just about every other fighter every other mixed martial art in the UFC would have that fight and have that victory.
Yeah.
Kickboxing, again, I'd have to give the advantage to the mixed martial artist. But in boxing, well, there you go. There you have it, isn't it? So the way to look at it, in mixed martial arts, Floyd has no chance. In kickboxing, he has some chance. And then it swaps in boxing. McGregor has a chance.
Yeah.
But 8 times out of 10, I give it to Floyd there. By decision. Because Conor's, a lot of people question if he had a chin. He's definitely got a chin.
Yeah.
He's definitely got one of that beard.
Chin, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got one. But Floyd's not known as a knockout artist. His last knockout was over Victor Ortiz, and it was such a dirty knockout. Victor headbutted him and then apologised. And while he was apologising and trying to shake Floyd's hand, Floyd chinned him and knocked him out.
Yeah.
Very dirty. But, protect yourself at all times. I'd have done the same thing. So, yeah, in a boxing match, Floyd.
Yeah. Do you remember the announcer? The guy who was always interviewing him?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube. Definitely worth checking out if you like seeing Floyd Mayweather argue with an older gentleman. It's like, if I was 50 years younger, I'd kick your ass.
Yeah, it's like Conor McGregor having an argument with Bruce Buffer kind of thing.
I don't think Conor would win that fight.
No.
There's a rumor that Bruce Buffer choked out Frank Trigg in an elevator once.
Damn.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't know why. I can't see Bruce lying about that. I reckon Bruce Buffer did do that. So who do you think is going to be champion in the featherweight division at the end of this year?
In the featherweight division this year. Max Holloway, I can't see him. I think he'll go for it. I think he'll fight Jose Aldo, and I think he'll win it.
That's a bold prediction.
It is a very.
Well, do you think he'll get the McGregor rematch?
No. I think McGregor's too busy doing his own stuff.
He's not interested in that fight.
He's not bothered. He's going off to have a baby.
It's high risk, low reward.
Yeah.
If he beats Max Holloway, whoop-de-doo, he's beat him again.
Yeah.
If he loses, though, that's another blemish. But then again, he's got what's that T-shirt he has out at the moment? I need new haters. All my old ones became fans. If he loses, all those fans turn back to haters. You were never that good. You never deserved to win. It was a lucky punch. But if he wins, they'll just be like, yeah, well, I always knew you were that good.
Yeah.
But lightweight division. Now I'm going to predict. I'm sorry.
All right, you're going to predict.
Stand back. I'm going to predict.
Okay.
Tony Ferguson beats Khabib. McGregor beats Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
That to me seems feasible. Do you think McGregor will still be champion by the end of the year?
I can't see him defending it as much.
No, he will. I think he will defend it once.
Yeah, possible once.
I think he'll defend. I'm gonna change my mind. I think he'll defend it once, and then I think he'll defend it at the December 31st show. The big show at the end of the year. They've always been massive. Anderson Silva, Weidman, Lesnar, Overeem, Rousey, Nunes. They've always been huge.
Yeah.
I think that'll be. I reckon he'll defend sometime this summer. Take the 6 months to train and then go and defend at the end of the year. But it just shows how stacked the lightweight division is.
Yeah.
Because if he beats Ferguson, and Ferguson, I'm going to assume I'm right. I like to assume I'm right. If he beats Ferguson after Ferguson beats Khabib, who does he fight? That massively stacked lightweight division gets very thin very quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's one name that sticks out. It's Nate Diaz.
Nate, yeah.
Mm.
He's on about, he said about boxing, but I don't know.
See, I think Floyd's right there. I think Floyd said he got his boxing license to make everyone talk about him. Because if you watch his spikes, it's like McGregor knocks out such and such, and then it kind of slows down a bit, and then McGregor comes back and he does it again.
Yeah.
So he wanted something to fill that gap, and McGregor knocks out Eddie Alvarez, and then before it can slow down again, McGregor gets his boxing license. McGregor does this, McGregor does that.
Yeah.
It's just about getting his name out there, and that's why he's, the global success that he is today.
If he's gone and got his boxing license, people thinking instantly, the fanboys are thinking, "Oh, we've got a boxing match on our hands."
Well,
we're ready.
The fanboys need to understand that the Nevada State Athletic Commission have said they will not sanction a boxing match between Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather because Conor McGregor is not an experienced boxer, and it would be a mismatch. They see it the same as if you were to go and apply for your boxing license to fight Floyd.
Yeah.
They'd say no, because you're not an experienced fighter. Well, you've got a black belt in karate, obviously.
Yeah.
But you've not had 50 boxing matches.
Yeah.
So in their eyes, it's a mismatch. It's dangerous for you.
Yeah.
Which is wrong in my opinion, because in an actual boxing is a strange one. It's let's fight, but let's only use these two fists.
Yeah.
In a real fight, Conor would kill Floyd. In a real fight, obviously, you fight to defend yourself, you fight to the death. And Conor would win. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So it's a strange one. But nevertheless, that's what the Nevada Boxing Commission says. So, in closing, I don't think that fight will happen. I hope it does. I'd like to see the fight.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll happen.
No, I can't see it happening. That has been all we have to talk about today. Make sure you check out the Fight platform for the new news and stuff.
Make sure you check out the fightplatform.com for all the latest mixed martial arts stories and news. And we are the Fight Platform. I am Sam.
I'm Josh, and we'll see you next week for another hour of news.
Lots of love.